Yes.
Hi Nagasai.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi. So can you? So let's start. Can you please introduce yourself? Can you start with an introduction?
Okay, so my name is Nagasai Bharat, and I'm currently pursuing computer science from BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus from India.
Okay.
So
Okay.
my I'm in my pre-final year. I'm going to fourth year now. So now before 4 years, I don't know means before undergraduate studies, I don't know anything much about coding. So
Okay.
after coming into my undergraduate studies, I have learned coding and I fell in love with it. So
That's great.
there are many of my friends who are motivating me,
Okay.
and
That's
the
really good.
SSD skills is a good community. So I joined it.
Okay.
I found it very
Yeah.
useful.
Okay. 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 That's a good thing. By the way, I'm Daniel James. I'm working as a software engineer in India in a software
Oh,
company in Chennai. So can we go ahead with the interview?
yes, sure.
Yeah, okay. So we have 45 minutes. So maybe we'll try to solve two problems or three problems.
Okay.
Uh, I can you can see me typing, right? Line number 15. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, you can just do something like print hello world or something just to confirm the compiler is working. Which language
Okay.
are you using? I can select it. Oh,
C++.
you can select. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fine. Okay.
It's
Yeah, it's
compiling.
working, right? Yeah, okay, okay. I'll write it here itself, the question.
Okay.
Mm, so you are given an array, uh, like mm, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, like this. Some values will be there. Like all the values will be either 0 or 1 or 2. You have to
Okay.
you have to sort this array in such a way that zeros will be coming in the beginning and ones in the middle and twos in the end. Got
Okay.
it?
Zeros in. So
Yeah.
if I write it, the final array should be 0, comma 0, comma 1, comma 1, comma 2, comma 2.
Yeah, exactly.
We should sort
That
this
should be
array.
the result.
Okay. So
Do
an
you
easy
have any
idea is
questions?
go through entire array. We can maintain a count
Okay.
of each one, like how many zeros are there, how many ones are there, how many twos are there. We can
Okay.
make another array with
Mm-hmm.
those many number of zeros, ones, and twos.
Okay, okay. So what will be the time complexity
Time
and
complexity
space
is
complexity?
often.
Okay, and
Space
space
complexity is
complexity.
also often. No, no, we
Okay,
can
is it
make it an
possible?
off one space complexity. We can change the original array itself.
Okay, that will be great. So it will be constant space.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that approach looks good to me. Maybe you can start coding.
Okay. Now we will go through the entire array once.
Okay,
I'm using for loop for this.
okay.
So this another map is left side value will be the key value will be the either 0, 1, or 2, and the value will be the frequency of the corresponding element.
Yeah, okay.
So now we can change the original array again. We can traverse the original array once more. Wait. I think we should not traverse like this. So
Okay.
and we'll also maintain one variable k, which will loop through, which will index through the array.
Okay.
So now instead of 3, we can t equals to 0 while t is less than 3. It will be fine. Into frequency equals to umap of t. Initially, we'll getting the frequency of number of zeros. What is the frequency of zeros?
Okay.
So we will loop through that those many times. I think this should work.
Okay. Before running, can you just do a dry run to make sure it's working?
Yes. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Initial unordered map is created, and we are going
Okay.
through looping through the array and finding the frequency of each of the element. Array of I will be initially 0, I is 0, array of 0 will be 0. Initially umap of 0 will be 0, now it will be increased to 1. Like that we will go through an entire array up to less than array dot size. Okay, this is right. I think we can change the variable names here instead of t and k. So what we can put is element.
Yeah, the variable name doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay then. So initially t is 0. So
Okay.
why I have put t less than 3 is because we have only 3 elements, 0, 1, and 2.
Yeah, got
For
it.
each of the element, we will go through that many times, how many times it occurs in the original array, the frequency.
Okay.
Frequency equals to what is the frequency of the t, that element. So
Okay.
that many times we are looping this, and we have written k plus plus. Why we used k? Because there can be like if you are if we are inserting once, we should start from where zeros end.
Yeah,
So we
correct.
put
Yeah.
another k variable like this, and t plus plus. Okay.
Okay.
After inserting all the values here for a particular element, then we are going to the next element. After zeros, we will go to
Okay.
1, then 2.
Okay. 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 So, okay. And can you please print the array at the end? so that we can know whether it's we can double confirm.
It's fine, right?
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah. Can
Shall I
you
run
try
it?
running? Yeah, she can
Okay.
run.
I should include this.
Oh,
We not
okay.
included the headers. The output is correct. There are some warnings here. I think we should not compare int and size t variable. So I will change that.
Mm-hmm.
This should work.
Yeah,
Yes, it's sorted.
yeah, okay, that's great. So
Should I
we'll
take any
just
more input?
yeah, I'll just try giving another input here.
Okay.
Yes, it's working fine.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So can we proceed to the next question?
Yes.
Okay. So here you are given an given two inputs actually. Sorry, just sorry. Input will be an array of strings. So I'll give an
Okay.
example. This was problem one. So this is an array. So
Okay.
you are given some words like W, WO, WOR, WORL, and world. So yeah, what you have to do is you have to find the longest word that can be built from the other words of this array. Got it? So in this case, world can be built using the already existing words, right?
How can we build?
Like 1 second. So okay, sorry, I'll give 1 minute. Okay, so in this case, the word is world, right? So world is so the world. How can I explain? Okay, so to build world, first we have to type W. So this
Okay.
string is available in the array. Then WO, this is also available in the array. Then WOR, that is also available in the array, like that. So if you take the word world, everything will be like all the
Okay. All
building
the
blocks.
prefixes of this should be
Yeah,
available.
exactly. All the prefixes will be available in the array, right? So in that
Okay.
case, we can world is the longest word. I'll give another example where the longest word is not there, like this one. So in this case, banana is obviously the longest word, but banana cannot be made using the other words, like B is not available. But if you take apple, A is available, AP is available, APP is available, APPL is available, and APPLA is available. So
Okay.
apply is also available. So if you are getting same, if you are getting multiple words that are of equal length, which can be made, in that case, you can print the print the like alphabetically first word among them.
Like score of
Got it?
first word.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the problem. Have you understood?
Okay. The target
Okay.
string should be in the array, right? It should.
Yeah. Target string should be in the array.
Okay. What I'm thinking of a greedy approach is like take the longest word, which has
Okay.
many characters. So we can
Okay.
check whether it is, whether it can be, whether all prefixes of that word are present in the array.
Yeah.
So if
Okay.
it's not satisfying, we can go for
Hmm.
the second longest word and check for the all prefixes and continue like that.
Yeah. Okay. What will be the time complexity in that case?
Time complexity can be for a word of length n, there
Okay.
can be n prefixes. Length 1 prefix,
Okay.
length 2 prefix, up to length n prefix.
Okay.
So, so for checking whether a word exists in the array, we can use a hash map kind of thing. In O of one time, we can tell whether this word exists in the given array.
Okay.
So for it takes O of n time to check whether a word has all prefixes to it.
Okay. Okay. So
So
and space space will also.
the word can be satisfying the condition. Otherwise, if any of the fails, we should go for the next word. So in the worst case, we will go through the all words. So O of n into O of n, maybe O of n square.
Okay. Okay. So is it possible to get it more efficient?
Okay. So instead of going top to bottom, can we go bottom to up? Like,
Hello.
like
Yeah.
initially we will take A.
Okay.
Mm, Next we should get AP. I'm not getting idea how to do this in bottom up kind of thing. But okay, we can do one thing. We
Okay.
do otherwise for every word, we can check whether all prefixes exist for this word. So we, we can have we can have a boolean variable for every word. Like we can tell whether app has all prefixes in this. So
Okay.
for checking appl and also appl also we know whether all prefixes exists. For checking this
Okay.
one, we can check whether only appl has already all prefixes or not. I'm telling you
Okay.
to check
Okay.
whether appla has all prefixes. We
Okay.
can check only appl has all prefixes or not. That will be sufficient.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So if you're taking first, you'll take a word, and then you will remove the last character and check the remaining if it is available, like that.
Yes, if it's available, like
Okay.
kind of memoizing, like that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, that solution might work, but okay. So for storing the prefix, you are planning to do the uh, hash map, right?
Yes, hash map.
Okay, so is it possible to store it in in a more memory efficient way? Can you think of anything like instead of hash map? So if you are taking hash map for a one, for each word you will be having a
An entry.
like it will be often, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So is it possible to do it little more efficiently, the memory storage part?
Mhm. You're telling the hash map for which one?
No, you will be having hash map, right? So your map will be something like a true banana, like this, right?
Ah, yes, like that.
Yeah. Okay. So in this, the you are having like it looks like you are storing every words again, right? So instead of that, can you try something more efficient? Can you try for more efficient way of storing the string,
Okay, string
like
storing
storing the
efficiently means you
strings?
can use try, I guess.
Um, can you think of some other data structure? Yeah,
Other
try will
than
be better.
okay.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, then try will be better, I think.
Yes,
So
try.
how will you store it?
So like try will store like graphs. So you know try data structure, right? We can check whether a word is present. We can word is present in the try or not instead of using map.
O-
But it will
Okay,
take
okay.
time complexity of O of length of word to check whether the word is present or not. But in map, it will have time complexity of O of 1.
Mm, yeah, but the length of the string need not be too big, right?
Okay,
Mm,
there is a limit on length
it
of
will
word.
be, in your case, yeah, okay. Yeah, length of word is limited. Like it can be, you can consider it will be less than 10 or something. So in that case, try will be better, right? So it will take lesser memory. Okay, I didn't say that actually. So in the worst case, the size of the word, it won't be too big. It can be maximum up to 10 or 15, but the length of array can be very big actually.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it. So in that case, memory is a bit
So in that case,
concerned.
try will be best, I think, instead of
Sorry.
map. In that case, a try will be
Yeah,
best. Time complexity will be O
yeah,
of
yeah,
1 and also
yeah,
space
yeah,
will
yeah.
also will be reduced.
So which one do you like to implement? I think both are fine. Try will be more memory efficient.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So which one
But
you want? We can try.
I can try map. I didn't implement try anytime
Which
previously.
approach do you want to go with?
I want to go with map.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Then we'll continue with map. So
Okay.
you will store. You will be creating the map, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Then what will be the? Then you will go through the array and select. Uh, for each word, you will be checking if all the prefixes are there.
Yes. What initially
Oh.
I thought was consider
Mm.
the largest
Oh.
limit
Okay. Okay.
and check for all the prefixes of this. Like that, it
Okay.
takes O of n square. And afterwards,
Okay.
what I thought was that we can have another map which tells that whether A is a candidate solution, whether A can be a candidate solution, whether all
Okay.
prefixes of A are present in the array, whether all prefixes of APP are present in the array, whether all
Okay.
prefixes of APPL are present in the array.
Okay.
If we have
Okay.
another map like that, so for
Mm.
checking whether APPLE is a candidate solution.
Hmm.
We can check whether APPLE is a candidate solution. So it can also be a candidate solution.
Okay. Yeah, that is fine, I think.
But I should check the complexity, how much it takes.
Yeah.
I'll try. So, mm, so initially we will take all one letter words and put that to true. Means,
Hmm.
and I will write another map here.
Okay.
It is an unordered map.
Hmm.
So I think it's same kind of thing.
So can you write the contents? Like what will be the contents of this map?
Okay. Like initially we will go through means all one letter words. It will be definitely be
Okay.
true. All two letter
Yeah,
words
okay.
will be true if the prefix means which is a one letter word, if it exists in this array, in this map.
So like how can you get the letter words in the beginning?
We can get right in, we can string of
So
0 to
each time
length
will,
minus 1, length minus 2.
yeah, okay. No, okay. So like every time like so how are you planning to insert it into map? So you'll go through the array and check if the length of the string is 1 and then insert it and then again go through the array, then check for two letter words. Is that the procedure you're
That's what
planning
I'm
or?
thinking. It needs to, for
Okay.
it to work, the array should be sorted with lengths.
Yeah, okay.
It is not the case, right? It is
No,
not
the
sorted.
array is not sorted.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But maybe I think you can sort it.
But sorting, sorting takes in login time again.
Yeah.
Already my time complexity is off and scarce, so no problem.
Yeah.
So if it's already sorted, then it's very easy. No off and time, we can construct this
Correct.
second map,
Hmm.
and we will give the one which has the highest length. But another map, again we should traverse one more time this another map to check which has the highest length and which is the potential solution.
Okay.
And here I didn't write banana. It is false.
Yeah, maybe you can write the sorted array above this so that you can know what will be the like anyway you'll be sorting it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can just write the sorted array, it will be easier for you.
Okay. Should I change this array?
No need to change the array, you can just copy paste it. And
Sorry, I didn't understand. What did you say? Can you please repeat?
no, like can
Okay.
you see line 27? You
Mm.
can change the line to 37.
And you also want a lexicographically smallest one, right?
Yeah.
So while sorting only, we should sort based on length, and also based on the same length, we should sort lexicographical order.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's sorted now. Okay. Yeah, I think it's sorted now.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. So
I'm thinking
I
whether
think
this will be extra work or this maintaining a second map. Will this be an extra work? Won't this be
maybe
sufficient like that? I'm thinking.
yeah, okay. I think you can go ahead with just one map, right?
Uh,
Okay. So
so
you
we
can
can
remove
make
the other
a
map.
instead of making another map, we can have a pair here, which says the first column, first value of that pair says whether the word is present.
Okay.
The other one says whether it can be a candidate solution or not,
Okay.
like that. So instead of storing this here, we can store these values here itself, pair of Boolean values.
Okay.
It can be used for checking whether a particular prefix is present in the array, and also if it presents whether it is a candidate solution.
Okay.
Once we know that it's a candidate solution, no need to compute next time. Next time when we are checking for the same one again, no need to
Yeah.
compute, go further down again.
Okay.
I think it might be.
Do you need to store it even if it is false? Is it necessary?
Yes, it's if it's false, we need to store, right? Suppose there is another word like banana double A, then for checking whether this is a candidate solution, we should check whether banana is a candidate solution. So if we
Yeah,
have
if
false
it is
here,
not if it is not available, we can conclude that it is not a potential solution, right?
I'm telling there are two words, banana and
Yeah, okay.
another banana,
Yeah, okay.
which has two A's at last.
Yeah, okay.
So
So
for
when you're
checking
checking
this
the
one,
second word, first you will check if the first word is away and
first word is
the word before is a candidate or not. So what will be the case if the first was not there and the first one is there? So currently first banana is there. So imagine that first banana was not there. In that case also the result will be same, right? In case the banana is not a potential solution.
in case banana is not a potential solution, in one step only we will come to know that this is also not a potential solution.
Yeah, like that.
So we need to store this second value also for that. So we need to store two values.
Okay,
So I'm
okay.
telling if there is another word like banana fruit, like
Yeah,
this.
okay.
We
So banana fruit is
first we
definitely
will know
not
that
a, yeah.
first we will know that this banana is not a candidate solution.
Yeah.
We will have here. So it will be true comma false. True means the word is present but it is not a solution, candidate
Yeah,
solution.
okay. Yeah, okay.
So for checking whether banana fruit is also a candidate solution, so instead of fruit we can simply say F. Okay, banana F
Okay,
is a
so
candidate solution. We will check whether banana is a candidate solution. Means first
yeah,
we should
so
okay.
so if banana is a candidate solution, then banana F will be a candidate solution, right?
Yes.
So if banana is not a candidate solution,
Then
definitely it
it will
won't
also
be.
be false.
Yeah, it will also be false. And if banana is not present, then also it will be false, right?
Yes. Not present
Yeah.
also it
So
will be
I'm
false.
asking. Yeah. So I'm asking whether the presence has to be noted down or not. Like,
No, no, if
if we.
another map we can get right, if this banana is not present in the map, if we
Hmm.
try to fetch from this map, we will get some null value like that.
Okay. Okay. I think you didn't get the point. Uh, okay. Fine.
Suppose this value is not here in this array,
Yeah. Then
so
also the
this
result
will
will be
here
same,
also it
right?
will not be there. So
Yeah. Then
here for checking
also.
banana f,
Hmm.
we will try to check whether map of
Banana is
banana
available
is
or not.
present or not.
Yeah. Correct.
If it is available, we will check the second value also like this. If it's not available,
Yeah.
directly we can say that this second value will be false.
Okay, if it is okay, so if second banana is not present, it will be false. And if banana is present and it is false, then also it will be
Then
false,
also it
right?
will be false.
Yeah, so I'm asking like if banana is present and if you know it is false, then you can just not include that in the map, right? Like
Okay, okay.
you got my
That's
point?
also nice. Nice.
Yeah, okay.
You can simply remove that.
Yeah, so that may be easier for you, I think.
Yes, nice idea.
Yeah.
There is no there is no future consequences, right? If you remove.
Yeah, that will be easier for you to implement as well. So I
Yes.
think,
If
yeah,
it is
I
not a
think you
candidate
don't.
solution, then any words which has prefix this current word cannot be a candidate solution.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, that will be nice. So shall I code it?
yeah. You can say you can start coding.
For clarification, I will tell you the algorithm once more.
Yeah, okay.
So we will check for the longest word initially.
Hmm.
Longest word initially. So we will banana if is the longest word, assume.
Okay.
We will check for banana. If
Hmm.
it's present, recursively we will check whether this can be whether banana is a candidate solution recursively.
Hmm.
If it is false, then we will remove banana and all other words which are part of that recursion. Like
Okay.
banana, we will remove banan, we will remove bana,
Hmm.
we will remove like that.
Okay. Okay.
And this
So,
we will remove finally banana if. Then we
yeah.
will go
Okay.
for
Okay.
this the second word.
Hmm.
Otherwise like this. So sorting would help, I think.
Hmm.
Initially, we will sort the array and we will go from last to in ascending. If it is sorted in ascending order, then we will start from the last element and go backwards.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, I will try to code it.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So I'll just give a small warning. Like we have only 10 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
So,
I will try to complete it
yeah, sure.
lastly.
Maybe for simplification, you can consider the arrays sorted. So that will be
Okay,
easier
that is
for you.
nice.
For you.
Very easy.
Yeah, okay.
Array is sorting according to the number of length of the word, right?
Yeah, you can sort it as you want it. So that you need to
Length of the
implement
word
only
and
the other part.
also lexicographic or both.
And yeah, and lexicographical as well. Both
Okay.
length of word and lexicographical.
So for
Okay, you continue. I'll change the array by the meanwhile.
okay. So substring, there is a substring function, right? I'm not remembering that. Otherwise, you can initiate here itself. So we should check this longest prefix is existing or not. So we should write another function. And also we thought to maintain a map. So it is sorted. So instead of maintaining map, we can check whether the word is present or not in the array. And we can do binary search, but it will take some time. But maintaining a map is easy.
Okay.
No, we will check whether the passed string is existing in the array.
Okay.
If exists of this string equals to false, if it's not present, then directly we will return false here.
Okay.
Return false, right? Now, if the string exists, we need to check whether the means recursively we should check the longest prefix exists or not for that string.
Yeah.
Hey guys, just just a little time check here. We have just probably a few more minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Okay, I will try to complete it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So bool. Now recursively, if all the prefixes, if it's not a candidate solution, then
Yeah.
we should remove this from the array.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
for removing, I just now remove that. I should take this input also. I should call it by reference.
Mm.
Otherwise, we'll simply return true here.
Okay. So I think only the main function is pending, right?
And also here also, if the existing string is, if it's not there,
Maybe
okay.
like since you are running short of time, you can leave it as it is. Your logic
Okay.
is somewhat correct, I guess. So maybe we can fix it later.
Okay.
You can continue with the main.
Main part. Okay.
Yeah, main part. Yeah.
So check solution of longest prefix. If it is a candidate solution,
Mm.
then this current string,
Yeah.
this is also a candidate solution. And
Yeah.
also we are coming from the sorted array, from the right side
So
of the sorted array. This will be the, okay.
yes.
We should return the lexicographical smallest one, right?
Yeah. So
So
maybe you
initially,
can.
if we thought that the array is sorted
Yeah.
according to
Okay.
keys,
Do
and
one
also
thing
it
like
is
if.
reverse sorted in lexicographic.
Yeah. Okay. We can. You can assign that as well. I'll just change it. Apply and apply will interchange. That's it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now maybe you'll get the desired solution.
Then we will return this current string.
Yeah. You can just print see out it. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Since it is main
Otherwise,
function,
if
you
it's
can
not
just.
if it's not there, we can remove it. We can't.
Yeah.
So we can
Okay.
remove it. There is no problem of not removing it also. Why? Because there we will not check this string again as part of any other prefix of any other string.
Yeah.
I think this might be working.
Inside if you can break it actually.
What?
Inside if condition you won't be checking it anymore, right? So you can break it, like return in from the main function won't work, right? You can just see out it and break it. See out current string and break.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I think this will work. That's it, right?
Yes, that's it. But
Yeah.
I'm checking whether there are any loopholes here in this
Maybe since we are
type of
running out of
function.
time, can we conclude here?
Okay, simply run it.
Yeah, I can simply like anyway logic is correct, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, some erase functions.
I think it is fine. Can we conclude like?
Yes.
Yeah, if you want, you
The
can
logic
just
is correct.
yeah, okay, you can just copy it somewhere if you want.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it.
Okay.
Thank you, Nagsai.
Yes, thanks.
Mm, mm.
It's nice talking to you.
Yeah, same.
So there's just a couple of few steps that we do after the interview. One is
Yeah.
asking. So Naga, the first step
Yes.
is actually asking you how do you feel? Like how do you think you did overall? What do you think you could have done better, or what do you think you did great? Like what's your overall perspective?
Mm, I could have done a little fast without exceeding the time. I wasted so much time in understanding the question, means understanding the question and finding a correct logic for this. I should have done it a little faster for finding the logic.
Okay. And now the next step is Daniel. Do you have any feedback for Naga?
Yeah, he has done he has done it. First question he done it. He did it very fast, so it was perfect. And the second one, like he couldn't find the correct logic, and also I couldn't like I too couldn't help much in that case. So I think implementing using try might avoid the sorting part as well. So, but it's fine. Like overall, it was good. He coded the logic very fast for the second as well. Like we had only 10 minutes left. Still, he did it fast. So maybe little bit practice, he can be better.
And more thing, the
And
variables also did not name them well. I should have chosen
yeah,
nice variables names,
yeah, it's yeah,
understand readable code.
yeah, that is fine. Maybe next time we can try making it better. And also maybe yeah, other than that, everything was good. So just I was not comfort, that much comfortable with CPP. I couldn't follow up everything, but still it was good.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So the next stage is anybody from the group has any feedback for either the interviewer or the interviewee? I can
Can
start.
you guys hear me?
Oh, sorry. Somebody said something?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear
we can
you.
hear it.
Okay, great. So for the first problem, actually, I noticed. Do you have the code actually? Or
Oh,
did we
sorry, I
just?
have deleted the code.
That's fine. So there's a more optimal algorithm, the Dutch national flag algorithm, like which does a single pass.
Oh, okay.
That's not too much of an issue. Like the algorithm was fine, but I think the unordered map was adding a bit of complexity. So what I usually see like in those solutions is like people using like variables like count 0, count 1, count 2, because there are just few of them. Like unordered map seems like a complicated data structure. But yeah, overall
Yeah,
the
but
problem
still
is
it will be
pretty smooth. We
say
got it right on the first
yeah,
go.
but still map and the three, like using map and using three different variables are same, right? I'm not sure.
He's telling that we can make it in a single
Right,
pass,
but
not going two
like
times.
Mm-hmm.
right,
Sorry.
but using, so you could also use the vector of like the size 3, like an array of size 3 with 0, 1, 2 as
Yeah,
index. So using a
okay.
complicated data structure for a simple problem seems like
Yeah, got it.
an overhead.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that I
Yeah, but
agree.
overall the code was you got it right in the first go. The way it's written was, it didn't seem to be clean. Like the brace logic was inconsistent. Like sometimes you use the curly brace in for loop, sometimes you wouldn't use. So
Oh, okay.
that sometimes comes across as like not well organized.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'll try to
Yeah, those are
improve it.
two things in that problem that struck out. In this one, I think the try solution would have been easier for you to implement.
Yeah, sorting was not
Because you were
necessary.
already familiar with the data structure.
I know the data structure, but I didn't implement it anytime. I should try it.
So why I said
Sorry,
to
there's a
go with
lag from
map?
my side.
I don't think so. Is it? I think so.
Yeah, there's a,
Bit
I
lag
think
is
4-5
there.
seconds.
Yeah, okay. So actually, why I asked him to go with map is that he haven't used try, right? So he might not be comfortable with it. So to make it fast, I thought giving map solution itself will be better. Yeah, obviously try will be more efficient.
Yes.
But since we haven't used it, I think map will work here.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like if you're more comfortable with map, that's fine.
Yeah.
For time complexity, I noticed you mentioned hash table time complexity. Like searching a string in hash table, you mentioned it as O of 1, and then sorting the strings, you mentioned it as n log n, which isn't correct. Like hash table
Yeah, we had
sorting
to
would be like O of like W if W is size of string.
Yeah, size of string has to be
Similarly for
considered.
sorting.
Yeah, and log in into size of string.
Oh, okay.
No, yes.
Like size of which string, so that also needs to be clarified.
Yeah. Agreed.
And also,
And then
I have got one
for
more
this
logic.
method,
Yeah.
yeah, go
This
ahead.
Abhilash? Yeah.
You can go ahead, Abhilash.
So for line 7, in this current code, the string and the unordered map are passed by value, so which invokes a copy constructor. So it's like, again, overhead. These should be passed by reference in C++. The string and the unordered map.
Okay, these two.
And also you don't need a map to just see if an element exists. You have used an unordered set directly.
Yes, set.
Right.
It's also fine.
So yeah, a couple more things. All of these are minor. The main thing still remains, like the thought process needs to be organized. So you thought about the right things to do at different points of time, but you didn't actually write them down. I didn't see you like writing the steps, because writing not just helps the interviewer to see it, it also helps you organize your thoughts and think about like, okay, this is my first step. And like, even for time complexity, if you write the steps, you'll be able to think better about like how much time it would take you.
Oh, okay.
So that's just a suggestion, so you knew the algorithm, you could come up with it, I'm sure, like if you were given more time, but like writing those steps really helps like organize thoughts and do it like quickly.
Yes, it's a nice suggestion. I'll try to follow it in my further interviews.
Cool. Yeah, that was some of the things I noticed at that on top of my mind.
Yeah, thank you, Abhilash.
Anyone else has more feedback for either the interviewee or the interviewer? Okay, so actually I do have some, actually for Daniel. I think it was great. You know, the particularly the second problem was very interesting, but I think it was like when you presented it, I think it was a little bit of like.
Yeah, initially I was a bit confused. Yeah.
So I mean, it generally just helps that, like, yeah. I mean, for these interviews that you have, like, kind of like maybe solve it or like know it by heart, is because sometimes the interviewer may have a different approach, and it may, you know. So I mean, that's a very small thing. But,
Yeah, actually I was initially like till around 1 hour back I was in, another question was in my mind, but At the last moment, I had to change it because I was not much comfortable with that problem.
Mhm.
So I changed it suddenly, so I couldn't try solving it myself. So
Yeah.
that was a bit difficult part for me. I should have prepared earlier, but couldn't do well.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but it is a good. I think it's a good problem actually. You know,
Mm.
and we were in the chat trying to actually discuss it, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it was good. So yeah, but other than that, I think yeah, you did a great job interviewing, and it felt like we had a good flow. But for Naga, I think yeah, it's been mentioned a little before, but yeah, the variable naming, I think that does make a difference. You know, like yeah, like we can see like line 12 is will be, you know, in the other one, the first problem too, you know, I think overall, yeah, I mean, that's an easy fix, right? Variable naming. My other feedback would be that actually in the first problem, I think even though you actually did like solve it, I feel like you could have done more like prep work, you know, like do a little bit more like even like test your code before even you code, like before you even like write the first line of code, you know, kind of explain the idea. And so I think you just went with kind of like what you had in mind. And in this case, it turned out because you did solve it, but sometimes it happens that you don't get to the solution. So I would just say is maybe take one step back and make sure that you solve the problem very well, like in your head, and that you can explain it before actually writing the code. And yeah, I think overall that would be my feedback. Yeah, props both of you. I think you did great. You know, it's a good session. So thank you for doing this. And yeah, I'll open up.
Yes.
I think
Thanks, Martin, for conducting these interviews, which are very
yeah,
helpful.
no, yeah, and thank you. It really helps the group. We learn from you. So I think maybe Vivek, do you have some feedback?
Absolutely. Thanks, Martin. I think your feedback was quite insightful. Definitely wanted to also thank Abhilash. I think you had a very detailed, incisive feedback, and that's very helpful. I think these are the kind of things that we're looking for. Some of the items that Abhilash was pointing out can probably be overlooked by an interviewer at times, but you really don't want to be at the mercy of an interviewer's, overlooking your small mistakes here and there. You would rather do it perfectly, and that's more useful and better. So let me structure the feedback in the same way as Martin did, which was let's talk about Daniel first. I think definitely stepping up to do mock interviews in a forum where you've got so many people watching is a hard thing. So thank you, Daniel, for doing that. It definitely, preparation. The more you prepare, the better it is. It didn't look like you hadn't. For the second question, you seemed very comfortable. So unless you admitted yourself that you didn't try to solve it, I wouldn't have guessed that. So it looks like you had a good handle of the question. But again, if you had solved it, you would know exactly the flow and things like that. So I think great selection of questions. Both questions were fantastic. The Dutch national flag question and the second one, which is this whole words in a dictionary. These are pretty standard questions. They have a good amount of problem solving as well. And there is a lot of complexity in terms of how it is structured. And the thing I don't like about the second question is that it requires you to know about try. So in this case, Naga knew, so it was okay. But if a candidate doesn't know try, then the question becomes a little weird to solve, and you can't expect a candidate to come up with a try data structure in the middle of an interview. So it may be a little harsh. This question may or may not be the best interview question for that purpose. But depending on if you're looking at, if the expectation is that folks have been doing a bunch of lead coding and they understand, and you expect them to know try upfront, then this is a very reasonable question. And I think it's like, from a complexity scale, the first question was probably towards the easier side, and the second question is more towards the medium to hard side. So pretty neat, well balanced. In terms of providing hints and feedback, and I did see that you were stumbling a little bit. I think you should start thinking about how you want, like, where do you want the candidate to go, and how do you want to take the interview. So you may want to pre-prepare some of the hints. Like you may have to have bullet points of like, this is what I want to give a hint on. Like, for example, you wanted the Naga to talk about price. So your hint was, can I think of a more efficient storage structure? Which is okay, but I think there are like better ways to think about it. And this is not just efficiency for storage, but it's also efficiency for lookup. So you may have to think about how. So that aspect of it, I think, was a little on the lighter side, but you did pretty well overall in terms of keeping the flow of the interview and keeping it going. And you were making Naga move along wherever, like, now you can start, let's do this, let's test this, let's go for it. So I liked how you did that. So I think definitely a good job there. Definitely needs a little bit of fine tuning here and there, but I think that was fantastic.
Thanks a lot for the feedback, VK.
Yeah, awesome. So then now let's get to Naga, and this is where I think overall looking at the interview, right? A couple of things are standing out very clearly. One is I think Naga knows how to code, can write code very fluently, and is very comfortable with C++. Understands the nuances of the language, can write the right constructs and syntax and all of that. So like fluency in code in terms of coding is pretty high. Now there are like problem solving was the other area that I check. I think that there is a bit of opportunity to improve the problem solving. I think Naga, your self-assessment of you need to solve faster in terms of problem solving is probably okay, but I don't think it's the speed that you're lacking. What you're lacking is more around structure and organization. The more organized your thought process is, the faster you will get to the right output. Like you wouldn't get confused, you wouldn't go back and forth and things like that. So there was a lot of repetitions and overlap in what you did. So when you get a recording of this, go back and listen to it and see how you were like, struggling with, like your brain was thinking something and then you were saying something else, and that the engagement was a little choppy. And I think you can easily do much better if you do what like Abhilash was saying, which is like just write down your thought process, like just be organized, write down the steps. Like it just helps you think, and it also helps you communicate better. So that aspect, I think you can easily do better, pretty much on the problem solving side. And the two other angles I look at, go ahead, Naga. Any clarifications then I can answer.
No.
All right. So two other aspects I just look at is requirement gathering. Daniel did a fantastic job of keeping the problem slightly vague and ambiguous. And I don't think that there was enough requirement clarification done. That was also another one of your challenges. Like you didn't confirm like the size of the array. Like in the first case, you didn't confirm like how big the arrays can be, what would be the like how large can the entities be, and is it only 3 numbers, 0, 1, and 2, like just reconfirming that. In the second case, like verifying the test cases, verifying positive test cases, negative test cases, and things like that. Like Daniel gave you some of those things. He had those answers prepared, so he gave you that without you asking. I don't think so. That's something that I think you should have asked. Like you should have come up with these examples on your own, and that would have been a better feedback for requirements gathering. So I think from a requirements gathering standpoint, I think it was you have some ways to go. Just making sure that you restate the problem and then talk about specifically what the problem looks like. Last one on that list that I have is testing. I was a little uncomfortable with the way you were going about testing. Like, testing you shouldn't use the compiler for testing. The compiler is a last resort. Like you should be testing the code manually on your own, running the code, finding an error, fixing the error, and then running it again in an interview is very bad. I mean, you may do that in your day job and that's perfectly fine, but you don't want to do that in the interview. So in an interview, you may want to run through the code manually and all by yourself and things like that. So so that aspect of it was also, I think, required some work. So if I were to just take a step back and look at everything in order, I think requirement gathering was definitely, there was quite a lot of stumble there. Problem solving was slower, but I liked a couple of things that you did where you were explaining the complexity as you were going. I mean, of course, there were some questions around, is the complexity right? And were you correct in certain cases? But that's okay. I mean, I think the fact that you're natively thinking about the speed and the and the space and things like time and space is a very good thing. And like, you know, you natively also trying to, I think in your first question, you said, I think I can do it in of one space or something like that by reusing the same array or something like that. So those are all like, you know, tells me that you are reasonably comfortable with data structures and algorithms. So that's kind of what the problem solving element was. Coding was definitely above par. It was definitely above average, super fast in terms of coding. Your function namings were very good and descriptive. Your variable names that were actually function arguments and whatnot, those made sense. I will definitely echo Martin's comment on the variable naming, like single letter variable namings generally avoid. That said, I also don't like line number 13, which is where you've said B equals false. It almost tells me that you don't understand how Booleans work. Why would you just not say not B first, and things like that? And the second thing, of course, is that I generally don't like return false and return true, which reacts to Boolean variables. So this particular statement, I would have just simply said something to the effect of like return B would be my answer. And probably one line before that saying like, if not B, then array.arrays or something like that. So that way the arrays will only happen for false cases and the value of B will be returned as is. Makes the code a little bit more compact, and it also helps me understand about your command of Boolean algebra and things like that. So that part of it, I think, little bit of a miss, but not really a whole lot. But I think the way you wrote the code and the speed with which you wrote the code kind of makes me ignore all of these minor errors, issues here and there. This is just code hygiene. I think as long as you can slowly improve it, you will be fine on the coding part of it. Testing, you have ways to go. I think that's what I felt. I think just having to manually test your code and identifying bugs without having to run the compiler is something that that I think you definitely needed some ways to go. So I don't have an assessment for you in terms of whether this would be a pass or a fail, but I think it'll be somewhere in the middle. And I think depending on the company's requirements and needs, and depending on the interviewer's training, this may very well be a pass or a fail, depending on what they want to focus on. Like if they're focusing on some of the syntax pieces, the testing, and the speed of problem solving, this would be a fail. But if they're looking at your coding ability, primarily if that is the leading vector, in that case, it could be a pass to the next level. So somewhere in between, but I think you have great potential. Like you have the right skills, minor tweaks, and you'll be awesome. That's all I had.
Yes, thank you, Vivek. It's very constructive feedback for me. I'll try to improve my next interviews.
Awesome. Back to you, Martin.
All right. Does anybody else have any feedback? I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now.